Hello everyone! Today I will bring you something different. If you follow my channel, you already know I'm not the kind of guy who do a lot of reacts, but I'm doing from DM because I really like him. I follow his work since Diablo Immortal, and it seems a really nice guy. I really like his content. So I'm curious about this new video he launched yesterday. Is Diablo 4 is having drama yet again. So I'm really curious. I didn't watch the video. I'm watching for the first time. So let's play it. And of course, I will react and give you my comments.
You know, I've been spending the day thinking about this. I was reading comments from both my fellow content creators' videos on this topic, from Reddit, from live streams, and there's a whole lot of bummed out people in related to what happened today. And I'm going to kind of break it down because I think Blizzard continues to make the same mistake over and over and over again. So what actually happened and why is there drama again? Recently, Blizzard launched the Diablo 4 expansion and Season 6. Now, this was the Vessel of Hatred expansion, which was actually pretty well received by most people. If we're being fair, there was some feedback, criticisms from myself included around the campaign not really having the best writing, having kind of a bad cliffhanger and being a little bit maybe short. So the campaign was kind of like, it was a point of feedback people didn't really like, but most people really enjoyed the new class Spiritborn. There's some bug issues we'll talk about in just a moment. It's actually part of the discussion today, as well as the Dark Citadel was arguably the best piece of content they've added into the game. It's actually the most fun I've had in the game since Season 0's Lilith kill.
So far I agree with him. I'm not a big fan of the Spiritborn, but I really understand that some gamers like it. Okay, I start the season with Rogue. I tested Spiritborn, but I'm not a huge fan. I agree with him about the campaign seems a little bit short, but at the beginning, the overall and the reaction was quite good. Okay, and the Dark Citadel is really fun. So far, I agree with him. For me, it's not a big surprise because I have same ideas and similar thoughts as DM. That's why I like him so much. But that is not the main reason. The main reason is because he seems a really cool guy and I really like his feedback. Okay, so let's continue.
With the launch of the expansion, it would be fair to say the community was feeling pretty good about the game for at least the first couple weeks while everyone absorbed the new content. Now, this isn't exactly new to Diablo 4's PR or the way that happens. When the new season comes out, people will typically enjoy the season for a week or two, then we start seeing criticisms. But this is exacerbated in some of the seasons. For instance, Season 2 came out and it was really well received. Had good pacing, had a cool power mechanic with the whole blood vampire sort of theme. You had this new Helltide kind of style as before they fixed the Helltides. It was really well received. In Season 3, probably the worst received season of all time. So
I agree with you.
Whiplash effect. So fast forward to Season 6, we get a somewhat similar effect. You can see on Twitter here, they're constantly talking about, hey, a Campfire chat's coming, Campfire chat, Campfire chat, Campfire chat. Scroll all the way down.
Man, I have to stop it because this was the first Campfire chat. I didn't watch it live because I quit it playing Diablo 4 this season. I'm being honest with you. I watched like 5-10 minutes. I was jumping the video. The worst Campfire chat ever, without any doubts. Man, the content was so hollow. Oh, some buffs here, this class, that. The Rogue, for example, the class I was playing, they talk about, okay, let's jump for another one. It was really bad. I think he will talk about that. I don't know, but that is my opinion.
Here, even down here, Campfire chat is coming, etc. I'll let you know what's going on. Balance, tweaks, updates, and more straight from the Diablo 4 dev. Now, it's fair to say that in this Campfire chat, there is at least one thing that absolutely must be discussed, which is the hilarious balance of the current new class Spiritborn. You can type in Spiritborn Trillion and you can see videos that are months old. They are hitting literally quintillions now of just tons and tons of damage. We've talked about this many times in videos beforehand, but they had already stated that they're not going to do nerfs mid-season. The only stuff that they're actually going to be doing is fixing any bugs or builds that might be crashing servers and related to player experience, but they don't actually nerf mid-season. So we all kind of knew that, okay, well, Spiritborn's going to last until Season 7. There was actually an interesting poll that he put up, Rod Ferguson here, that he said, do you guys want us to fix the Spiritborn or leave it as is? And even in his Twitter poll, for instance, 63% voted just leave it. They were also kind of put in a difficult position, if we're being fair. Like, they just launched a new class. People basically had to pay for the new class. They put all this time into gear, and you really had to have like specific niche gear to make all these bugs work, etc. Because they are bugged builds in order to do the tons of damage. So they kind of can't like gut it, even though it's not a nerf, it's a bug fix.
Yep.
It would still kind of feel bad. So their hands are kind of tied on this matter, and because of their previous promises, we all basically knew Spiritborn isn't really getting fixed until season 7. You're going to notice this entire conversation. This is what I want to focus on, because this is sort of the point of the video I'm trying to make here. This entire conversation we've had so far is about fixing a previous update. In fact, if we look real quick, here's the mid-season Campfire chat. If we scroll through the timestamps, intro starts at 30 minutes, intro, learning since launch.
I did the same. As I told you, I didn't watch it live. I was here, man, introduction. Current state, I was okay. Jump it. Okay, went out.
Current state of the game, and then class balance and system updates, which is all sort of buffs to the other classes because they're not really balanced currently at the moment, and talking about the fixes, etc. for the Spiritborn is up until 57 minutes. This is a 30-minute chat, which means at the end, there's only 2 minutes talking about the new content that's coming, which is actually a rerun of the previous mid-season Blight. So there's actually no announcements for anything new other than just some patch notes. And I'm not going to hate on the balance changes. We need those balance changes. Me as a druid, I like seeing that my tornado is getting a new multiplier. I like these things, but it's always retroactively looking back and saying, okay, we have a problem here. How do we fix it? And then the problem fix is being sold as the new content or things to look forward to.
Yep.
I think this is not very good marketing or sales pitch. But we're trying to keep hype around a game that is going off of the back of a pretty decent expansion. You should be out there announcing there's new content coming. We have a new boss, the Priestess of Hatred from the campaign's coming back. Maybe they're taking Mephisto and you actually get to fight Mephisto instead of selling another expansion for it. They say, you know what? Mephisto himself, you're actually going to fight him. He's coming season 7. This is a comment off Woody Joe's. Look at this. This Campfire could have been an emo. I mean, basically. And unfortunately, if you read the...
Man, the comment is great. Yeah, I totally agree with him. Man, a short sentence get a perfect resume of all the live Campfire chat. Man, perfect.
Comments like this is on his video. Most of these comments are extremely negative. But if we look at the comments on Rax's video, for instance, I mean, he's a pretty positive fellow out there making content. People seem to like Rax. All of the comments here are very negative pretty much as well. It's like, yeah, this is kind of like nothing new, nothing fun, nothing exciting.
Yep.
Okay, how about Riker's video? Campfire suggested they just wanted to move to season 7. Season 6 equals dead. My argument is not that the game is suddenly trash like a day after because they just announced like nothing really hype in the Campfire chat. It's still the same state. I actually think season 6 and the expansion are still pretty fun. It's that the perception from the people that have continued to play the game since either the beginning of the game's launch itself or from season 6 are now looking forward to what's going to be coming in season 7, and more or less the announcement of season 7 is fixing our oopsie daisies in season 6.
Sorry, guys, I have to stop it because I understand his point and I agree with him. The people were with high expectations for this Campfire chat with some news regarding the new season. Mainly, he didn't mention already. So far, he didn't spoke about that because we have 6th of December, we have PoE 2. So people know it, and many players I know because I already read some comments on my channel saying that, look, I'm stopping now Diablo 4, I'm waiting for PoE 2, I'm looking for test PoE 2. So Diablo players know now they will have a tough competitor. It seems like that child, and I'm giving you some comparison, like that child that was playing in the playground alone by 1 year. Of course, is the best child in the playground, is the biggest and the strongest because it's the only one. Of course, then we had Last Epoch, and even Last Epoch, Diablo 4 already checked it, so that's why they made all the changes for the season 4 and some the crafting, etc. Now they will have like a big boy new is coming to the playground. So people was expecting, let's see what Blizzard has to offer and exciting news for the upcoming season. That's why we have all these negative feedback from all the gamers. That is my opinion.
Maybe we'll have an armory. It's going to be season 7, season of the armory will probably end up being the theme. Isn't really like the best sales pitch to keep those players in the game during season 6. Everyone's just going to dust off their hands, say, all right, looks like we're done, and we'll check out season 7. And that could literally be the plan. I mean, it is an ARPG, it is seasonal. It could be like, hey, we're done. Season 6 was a hit. The expansion did pretty well. Let's call it a day, boys. We see in season 7, nothing's really coming to the game other than we're rerunning an event. And if that's how you want to play it, well, fair enough. It's not my game. That is a decision that can be made. But I can tell you that I see from the people in my chat, from the comments that I'm seeing on people's videos, we can even pull up Reddit thing. Could have been an email vibe. I thought this one was pretty funny. An hour-long stream to announce the actual stream happening next week. What the fuck? This thread is a guy doing a summary. Then this person just says summary disappointing. Scroll down here. Useless, redundant campfire chat. Absolutely nothing beyond. Just wait till the next season. So, I mean, you can kind of see why did they even have this chat? A whole bunch of, oh boy, we can't tell you what we're working on, but we can tell you until the next chat. It's almost like the expansion. This is the expansion to announce that Mephisto is coming in the next expansion. This was the Campfire chat to announce that a Campfire chat is coming. But again, I actually like the transparency and communication. I don't think that's as big of a deal. But this comment right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Season 7 is shaping up to look like another season of balance changes and zero depth added to the game. Why would you balance a season as big as VOH is supposed to be around bugs? So do you see the perception that happens from gentlemen like this man, where he's excited by the game, he's playing the game, he's on the Reddit, for God's sake, almost 2 years after the game's already been out, he's still on the Reddit using the Reddit, so he's obviously a player of the game, and his perception is Season 7 is just shaping up to be a season of balance changes. So best case scenario, this is all wrong, everyone's disappointment here will be in vain because the next Campfire chat, when they come out, is like, hey, we couldn't talk about it yet because we didn't know if we could get it done in time. But Season 7, new Pinnacle boss, Mephisto fights actually coming.
They will do it.
We have new events, new unique items, maybe a new mythic. We've added a crafting layer. You know, real, juicy, meaty content. Though I would like to see in Season 7 a power-based mechanic like we had in Season 2. Even though I didn't like Season 3, we had this in Season 3 as well. Something that you can actually use to build out your character as opposed to just acquiring something that we already have in the game. Basically, it can be summed up in this. This is just a patch. The announcement is literally just a small patch saying that they're going to fix a bug later. There's some buffs to some of the classes. Nothing really new is coming. I do think deflating the hype is something that they've continually done since the beginning of the game and is the most classic Blizzard mistake with Diablo 4. Season 0 or Season 1 launches, nerf all the armor stats into the ground. Season 2 comes out, people are feeling pretty good. Season 3, deliver the vaults, and everyone fucking hates them, so they have to fix and buff them. We do this roller coaster of good thing, disappointment. Good thing, disappointment. Fix the disappointment. People are excited by the fix. Disappointment again. Fix it. Now it's kind of in a good state. But we never have like 2 in a row of something really good and then they just double down and they hit it out of the park. Bases are loaded, which is the scenario here. It's like, hey guys, you had a pretty good expansion, mostly well received. Good content. You've been doing better communication lately. I was happy to be able to come up and say, you know what? I quite liked these updates. I had a good time. It was probably the most enjoyable that I have had in Diablo 4. And then 2 weeks before Path of Exile 2, you just kind of announce we have nothing coming. Like, it's just not really a smart move. Your competitor is releasing a major game. You announce nothing's coming. People are just going to play your competitor's game for a while.
Exactly. I didn't watch the video before, honestly. I already knew he will talk about Path of Exile. And that is the feeling of the player. You don't have anything new to offer me, so I will play the competitor. It's quite simple.
And then Season 7, if it's a whole nothing burger, they're going to continue to play the competitor's game. Season 7, I'm talking the seasonal mechanic should be quite good. Because if you remember Season 6, it's basically this seasonal reputation system here. And the bonus, the seasonal mechanic, was the Realm Walkers. Well, the Realm Walkers were up there with Season 3 in terms of boring seasonal mechanics. Like, you literally do an escort mission for the Realm Walkers. The rewards were kind of cool. Everyone liked the Opos. But the only reason Season 6 didn't actually get flamed was because the expansion had rune words and new class, mercenaries, and new campaigns. Everyone was busy with the expansion. Make no mistake, Season 6 was a miss. in terms of the actual mechanic.
Yep.
So season 7 for a seasonal mechanic needs to actually be a banger, not a filler, because the filler was actually the season 06 mechanic, and the people that don't even buy the expansion got a very boring season. Seasonal mechanics are extremely important. If you remember season 2, you had this really cool power-based mechanic. We need to go back to these. At some point, we went from season 1 gives you, the...
Keep mentioned about season 2 because for me, I agree with him. It was the best season. In all the seasons we got in Diablo 4, for me was the best one, where I had much more fun. It's not randomly the fact he's keep talking about season 2. And I understand exactly what he says, and I agree with him. Okay? It's quite strange, but I'm pretty sure they will react. I think Blizzard, honestly, that is my opinion. They are like being, I don't want to use the word cocky, but similar to that. Okay, huge sales, Diablo 4. Now, 1 year and a half, something like that. We launch an expansion. Success. Man, we are the biggest. Okay, come the PoE 2 early access. Now, probably they will get a big surprise. Then they will react to that surprise. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I tested, PoE 2 at BGS, I don't think so.
These things, these sockets, you put these malignant hearts in there and it gives you new powers. Season 2, you get these blood powers. We went from like having power-based mechanics to farming-based mechanics, which the season just does this new event that you go and you farm and it just gives you the same shit that's already in the game. People like these power-based mechanics. In my opinion, season 7 needs to go back to the concept of actually making the seasons important. You still need to have patches delivering content. You still need to have bosses added to the game, unique items, mythic and balance changes. You still need that. But we are somewhat forgetting the importance of seasonal mechanics in an ARPG, where the whole reason people come back and then leave the game, and come back and leave the game on all of the ARPGs is to try out the new seasons. Do a test real quick. Do you remember what season 4's mechanic was? Can you remember it? It was the season of the Loot Reborn. There was actually no seasonal mechanic. They had reintroduced and reworked a previous part of the game. So that season was about fixing the game, basically. They had to remake items. Season 5 was the season of the Inferno Hordes. It was the, well-received room in which you fight a bunch of monsters. But the point of that was to acquire materials, new items, etc., for the implementations that were already in the game. There actually wasn't any new additional power mechanics. So season 4 was reworking. Season 5 was a way to acquire from the reworking. And then season 6 was opos, which are just a way to get more experience. It's this new mechanic, again, to acquire stuff that's already in the game, like rewards, masterworking materials, etc. All 3 of these are not power-based mechanics. It was actually only season 1, 2, and 3, the first 3 seasons of the games, that added Malignant Hearts, which were more power. Season 2 added the vampire powers, which were more power. And season 3 gave you the robot. We actually haven't had a return to a power-based, character-based mechanic.
So basically what he's saying is quite simple. They concern with the sim seasons for the first 3 seasons. And he's right. Then season 4, 5, 6 was like adding some new content and fixing the game. That's it. Or reworking some of the aspects of the game, like the master working, tampering, etc. That's it. They don't have a theme for the season. And that is really important. So far, I agree. I will not say 100%, but probably 99% with him.
In the game yet. Now, I don't believe every season should be a season of a power mechanic, but it would be interesting to go back and dip our toes a little bit into this with how well received season 2 was. And even though the season 3 vaults, in my opinion, were very unenjoyable, there was a good design implementation behind the robot where you sort of had skills and all of these like support gems in order to modify it. This was an interesting concept that hasn't been explored in many seasons. I appreciate the Campfire chats because we get transparency, we get to see in the thought process and things like the spiritborn bugs, the class balances, and we get to hear what their thoughts are about the current positioning of the game, the fixes that needed to be made, and the advancement for the future. But I would encourage going forward that the advancements into the future tend to be a major priority to how people are feeling. They know the current state of the game because they just played it. So we want to be encouraging our player base that love Diablo, that want to log in every day, and reward those players that are continually logging in still a year and a half later, that we are going to continue to deliver exceptional content over and over and over again. You want to wow people with the amount that you are willing to offer them, even when you do not need to. My closing argument would be that balance changes, bug fixes, and class updates should never be considered a part of a season or a part of a major content update. These should always be considered bare minimum changes that are needed to continue the health of the game. Fixing a problem is not akin to creating something new in the game. It should not be perceived this way. I'm not saying that's necessarily what they are saying with the things like this Campfire chat that came out, but it has been pitched before, like with Season 4, the reworking of the game and the fixing of that was Loot Reborn. That was the entire season. That was a one-off exception because itemization was badly needed to be changed. It was a well-received update. But in my opinion, that was not new content that was coming to the game. That was a fixing of issues that were related to the game in terms of a lack of itemization. This still falls in that same category, in my opinion. It's a bug fix, it's balance changes, it's class updates in terms of just percentages and numbers and a few new multipliers. It's not new content, and in my opinion, should be a very small part of what hopefully Season 7 has a very large amount of other additions coming to the game. I would even extend this to things like the Armory. If the Armory is going to be a major sales pitch of Season 7, it might be a reason for people to log into the game, but it's not a seasonal mechanic. It's not a major content update. It is something that should already have been into the game a year and a half later. We should be focusing on bringing Mephisto major boss fights. We should be focusing on new items and itemization, new ways of crafting, and new ways to further endorse our characters with power mechanics, just like we've done in Season 2, Season 1, and I hate to say it, but even Season 3 had this as well. So that's just one man's take. I hopefully am looking forward to Season 7, Campfire Chat, and I'll see you all there.
No, you are not alone. Believe me, I'm with you again. I agree almost everything he mentioned. Of course, he mentioned about PoE 2, and he's right. And as I told you, I gave up this season. I got bored. Really. Okay, I finished the Vessel of Hatred, the whole campaign, trying to reach level 300, but man, I'm tired to do the pit over and over and over and over. I got bored. So now I'm waiting for PoE 2. That's the fact. Until then, I will probably go live here in the channel with the new release. It's 20 of November. I was checking the calendar. The Stalker 2, because since I can have the Xbox subscription, I will test it. I will go live with that game, waiting for PoE 2. And December 9, I will try to get at least some time, because will be release a game that I will have also in the Xbox subscription, is Indiana Jones. But that is because Indiana Jones is one of my favorite heroes of all time. Probably the first hero. Of course, you understand, hero regarding cinematics and characters since my childhood. I love Indiana. But will not be easy, because I will play like 24/7 PoE 2. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Take care and see you in the next video.
Fresh meat.